I wanted to make a little pouch for gift cards or coins, so here's how I did it. I took a plain piece of paper, folded it 3 ways. It's not perfectly even, but I just wanted something simple. After I was happy with the type of folds I had and how everything landed, I then measured out 5 inches wide, and then I did that across the entire paper to make a perfect line even enough for me to cut across. Then I found the middle point, which was 2.5 inches, and that is where I'm going to cut for the top. So I'm just making sure that the line is very obvious, so when I do fold this in half, I can see where the fold needs to be. So then you're going to fold your piece of paper in half and then make sure the line that you've made is exactly on the fold. Then I'm folding it in half and making sure it looks right. And then I folded it back in half, lining up the ruler with the middle point. And I'm just doing 3 different lines here to see which one's going to look better for the envelope top. And then I'm folding it to kind of, get a visual. I want it to be a little bit more pointy and prominent like an envelope, so I went with the first line. And then I'm folding it all together to make sure it looks the way I want it for the little pouch. This is super easy to do using a piece of printer paper. So I got the batting and then my fabric that I'm going to use. And you're going to cut out 2 pieces of the same fabric. So when you go to sew them wrong sides together and you put them right side in, they will be the same fabric on both sides. And don't mind me using my sparkling water as my weight for this. So I cut my fabric on a fold for some reason, so I'm using this ruler to make the fold really sharp so I can see the line to cut down. That's not necessary. I'm not sure why I did that way. So now I'm going to just cut 1 piece for the batting. And then here I am using my water as the weight again. I don't know why I'm doing this. It just is what it is. But then after you have this cut out, you will have 2 pieces of fabric and then 1 insert for the batting. You're going to put them wrong sides together with the batting being on the bottom. So the layers are batting on the bottom and then your 2 pieces of fabric wrong sides together. Now you're going to sew all the way around, leaving a small hole on one of the sides. I like the hole being on the bottom right side, not the very bottom, but you'll see here. I'm also making 2, so that's why you see a different fabric here. But here's my small hole on the right side bottom part. And I made this hole a little bit too small, but it worked. And I'm just going to fold in the extra fabric right there and iron it real well. So when I go to sew the sides of the bottom portion, the sewing machine will close up that hole while adhering the bottom part the way I need it to be. Does that make sense? You'll see. Now that they're all situated, I'm going to add the little snap buttons, which was a learning curve. I did need to have my mom help me. Thank goodness she was here. But they're really not that hard. You just need to make sure you are pushing down strong enough and you have the right pieces in the right spot. I'm using a fabric marker to mark the spots I need it to be. That fabric marker washes off with water, so it's really easy just to spray down once the project is done, so then the marker disappears. My mom basically did all the heavy lifting at this part. I was just holding the fabric. So we're repeating it in the exact spot I need for the bottom piece. So that top part on the envelope top will then fold down and clip in to that bottom one. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And now I'm going to sew down the sides right where my fingers are and then leave the top open. That closed the hole and then adhered that bottom part to the envelope. Now I'm going to cut the strings off and then press it really well. And then I have a nice little gift card pouch or coin pouch. And here I am spraying off the blue fabric marker. Then I'm going to iron these down again to make sure there's a really good crisp fold and line and everything looks nice and sharp. And thank you to my friend Tina who gifted me this really pretty map fabric. These 2 things are for her and I'm obsessed.